like, why does the woman have to submit? I'm always like on that front of arguing that scripture. It is what it is. Honestly, I was told all of these things. I'm not even going to lie. Content have to content, so I have to title this that way. This video is not about sex, so I'm gonna stop talking here. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm basically going to be talking about things I wish I had known before I got married. Also, I want to say a major thank you to every single person who left a comment in the last video. I really appreciate your comments, and thank you so much for telling me to go ahead with this marriage series that I'm on. So this is a very chill video. I'm sure you can tell by the fact that I'm all cuddled up in the corner, and also Ollie is in this video, and whenever Ollie is in a video, it means that it's a really chill video. Before we even go on, I want to talk about a product that I have known as the Ultimate Wedding Planning Bundle. I have sold over 100 copies and the feedback has been amazing so far. So basically what you get as a part of the bundle, you get a wedding budget tracker, so basically to track the money that's coming in and money that is going out for your wedding planning. You get an ebook titled Questions to Ask Your Partner, like questions to ask before you get married. You also get added to a 12-week email series on marriage, wedding planning, and every other thing in between. So it is definitely a rip-off at the price it is going for right now. So make sure to click the link in my description box and get your copy, okay? Join the family. All right then, let's get started. Okay, so in no particular order, right? I'm just going to go through a bunch of things. The very first thing I'll talk about is, before you get married, I feel like it's very important for you to know that your upbringing strongly influences your understanding of maleness and femaleness. Let me explain what I mean. Growing up in your house, you grew up seeing your father do certain things, seeing your mother doing certain things, and what you don't realize over time is that this now stays in your mind as the normal. For example, if you grew up in a house where your father always takes out the cobwebs, always sweeps the house, you feel like that's normal. You feel like that's what a man should do. And if you grew up in a house where your mom is always cooking and all of that, you grow up feeling that that is how it is supposed to be. And so when you get into marriage, you tend to have these same expectations from your spouse. And the truth about this, it is actually like subtle. It's very like subliminal. Like, it's not something you would say up front, but you just realize you actually felt like, oh, your husband should have done this, or oh, your wife should have done this. And most times the major reason for this is your upbringing, because it has defined and shaped what you understand as male roles or female roles. Now, one of the books we read by Miles Monroe, I think it's titled Preparing for Marriage. I'll put the book on the screen. One thing he said there that really stuck with us is that marriage is a role-less relationship, okay? Like, when God created marriage, there are no roles, but basically you have to leverage your personality differences to assign roles, and then there are things you have to do together. Do you understand? So it doesn't make sense that, for example, the man likes to cook, he enjoys cooking, but because it is expected that the woman is the one to cook, then she's the one taking the bulk of the cooking when the man actually enjoys cooking. Do you get my point? So one thing you need to know before you get married is that you would have to manage your expectations, and also maybe have to adjust your understanding of maleness and femaleness. Let me use myself for example. So my father, he's a very handy person. If the light bulb is spoiled, my dad will fix it. If the sink is spoiled, he can unscrew it and fix it. If the door handle is stuck, my dad can loosen it and fix it. So even when getting married, I already told myself that this person I'm marrying is not my father, okay? So I cannot be having the same expectations that I have. So I won't expect that the same way my father would jump up at tax on the house, like all this kind of like fixtures. It might not be the same way that Jason would approach it. I mean, he does what he can, but my point is, I'm not going to expect him to be like up to the same level my father was, if that makes sense. Same way for some guys, and then you get married and you feel like, oh, your wife should be doing this because that's how your mother did it for her husband. Do you get? So it's really important that you know this and know peace. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt your video. This video is brought to you in partnership with Lemonade Finance, an app that I and my friends use to send money to Africa. So Lemonade Finance allows you to send money from Canada or the UK to Africa. So basically Ghana, Kenya, or Nigeria, and there are no transaction fees, zero fees, okay? So you don't have to pay any transaction fees to send money down home. One really cool thing is that they have one of the best rates on the market, so you get the best value for your money. I have been using Lemonade Finance for some months now, and it is so seamless to use. It is easy and fast, like you get the money in your account as quick as possible. Anyway, if you're not in Canada or in the UK, don't worry. Lemonade Finance will be unveiling in the US and in Europe subsequently, and I'll be the first to let you know. To get you started on the app and sending money back home, you can use my code CHIDERA when you sign up, and you will get 10% cash back off your first transfer. So this means that if you send money, you're gonna get some money back. So if you send £100, you get £10 back. If you send 200, you get £20 back. 400, you get £40 back, and so on. Okay, so make sure to use the code CHIDERA. Click the link in the description box to send money now to Africa, send to Ghana, send to Kenya, send to Nigeria. Okay. All right, sorry, back to the video now. The second thing I wish someone told me before I got married is that you should learn to communicate your needs and not assume. It's so easy to assume, especially when you're with someone who you feel really cares about you. You feel like, oh, they should know when to send you a text message, oh, they should know when to hug you, oh, they should know when to send you a gift, oh, they should know the gift you would like, stuff like that. It's so easy to make those assumptions because you feel that, oh, this person knows you so well, so they should know what you need and they should be able to meet that need per time. But then, shock horror, that's not how it is. You actually have to communicate your needs on a constant basis, and gradually your partner will learn. So for example, there are times when I literally have to say like, oh, please, I would like to be hugged now, because in instances like that, Jason is actually trying to meet my need, but he's not meeting it the way I would like. So sometimes he might be trying to encourage me with words and stuff like that, and I'm like, honestly, what I just need right now is a hug. That's all. Just hug me. That's all. And I have to say it sometimes for him to actually do that, because if it's left to him, he feels like he's actually being there for me and meeting my need, but that's not what I need at the time. So it's actually very important that you learn to communicate your needs. Another resistance that people have to this, especially for us females, is like, oh, if he cares about me, he would know what he's supposed to do. If he cares about me, he should know what to get me, he should know what to do, kini. Because I feel like if you tell the person, then that means you're the one telling them what to get for you or what to do for you. But here's the thing, right? If you don't state your needs, the needs will still not be met either way. Do you get my point? So why not make life easier for yourself and communicate the things you clearly need? And one thing I can tell you for certain is that over time, your partner will begin to understand you better, and those things you used to say before, you won't need to say it, and they will step up and meet that need. So it's very important for you to properly communicate your needs. Don't always assume that your partner knows. It can even be as simple as, oh, could you hold my hands as we're walking on the street? It's not you to be walking on the street and you're thinking, why is this guy not holding my hand? And truth is, his mind might not even be there. Do you understand? So you might want to do that. This also goes for guys as well. You also want to communicate your needs. Even with Jason, sometimes it's like, oh, let's cuddle now, stuff like that. So my point is, make it a constant effort to communicate the things that you need, especially when your partner is trying to meet that need, but they are meeting it in the wrong way, or they are going about it in the wrong way. All right? Okay. Another thing I want to say here that I wish I was told before I got married is sex is an art. It's an art of giving and receiving. Okay, what this means now is that it's not about you, it's not about him, it's not about you as separate individuals. It's about the both of you and how you're able to meet your individual needs. So sex should not be focused on meeting the sexual needs of one person. It should be focused on it should be focused on meeting the sexual needs of the both parties involved. Truth is, I already knew this before I got married, right? But it's just like in marriage, it becomes more evident to you. Another thing I want to say here is that I know I'm just barely 2 days into marriage, but one thing I can say for certain is that sex is actually very, very important in marriage. If you were trying to stay celibate before you get married, it's like the devil will be trying so hard to make you have sex, right? Outside of marriage. So the thing that now happens is when you get married, the devil now tries to keep you away from having sex because he understands how powerful sex can be in the context of marriage. Do you understand? So basically, he's just trying to pervert our approach to sex. So it's like, oh, before marriage, he's trying to get you to have sex. Like if you're trying to celibate, he's trying to get you to have sex, trying to get you to sleep with people. But then when you get married, he now wants you to weaponize sex and not have sex in marriage, or he wants to keep you away from sex. So it's like, oh, if your partner is mad at you, you people may not have sex for a long time. By doing so, you're actually giving the devil a stronghold oh my, this thing sounded so preachy. You're actually, forgive me, you're actually giving the devil a stronghold. So it's like, even if you're mad at each other, try not to deprive yourself of sex. And also, when I'm saying this, I don't mean that you should have sex when your mind and your soul and your body is not in it. No, my point is, it's not always about doing the thing that is convenient. Sometimes you have to do the things that are inconveniencing just because of, you know, you want to maintain a certain peace, a certain atmosphere in your home. But of course, there are times when you are truly not down for it, then don't. My point is, try not to, this goes for both parties, okay? Try not to use like weaponized sex such that it becomes a tool instead of a like regular part of marriage, if you get what I mean. The things that help my understanding with sex is, I've read so many things about it, so I have like a good understanding of it. But one thing I just want to share here is that when you and your husband come together, that is the perfect picture of humanity. That's the perfect picture of man. Because you remember at the beginning, God made man, then he took woman out of the man and made her separate in it. So when the two of you come together, that is the perfect picture of creation. That's the perfect picture of man. It's at that time that God's like, it's at that time that the creation comes into full picture, if that makes sense. And that is also worship in the context of marriage. Sex is worship in the context of marriage. But this video, it's not about sex. So I'm gonna stop talking here. Another thing I want to say, I wish I was told before I got married. Honestly, I was told all of these things. I'm not even going to lie. Because the marriage counseling that we did for 12 weeks was very intense. And then also the marriage course we did for 5 weeks. And then all the books we read. And then all the advice I got. Actually, I was told. I'm not going to lie. But content have to content. So I have to title this that way. Next thing I wish I was told before I got married is that you don't always have to feel loving towards your partner to love them. See, oh my God, when you get married hey, this person will annoy you. It's when you hear people say, oh, love is a choice, love is a choice. It doesn't used to make sense until you're married. When you're married, you understand that it's a choice. Like, you have to choose to love this person, even when you're very, very pissed. It's like, even when you're angry and maybe you were supposed to make lunch for your husband, you still make that lunch. You still give the person the lunch. Do you understand? That's what it means when they say love is a choice. So you have to choose to be loving towards your partner even when you don't feel like it. You can't bank on your emotions all the time. It's not all the time I feel like, oh, I'm 100% happy with Jason, but it doesn't mean I won't perform the duties that I'm supposed to do. I will do them because I committed to this marriage. Now me carry my 2 legs, go altar and say, Pastor, I will love this man forever. So I said that, and because I made that commitment, I have to stay committed to that. James, I have to stay committed to the vows that I have made and to the things I have said I was going to do to this man, regardless of how I feel. Another important thing I want to say here that I wish I was told before we got married is that when you're trying to resolve conflict, it's very important for both of you to step back and realize that you're on the same team. So it is not me versus Jason or you versus your husband or your husband versus your wife. It's the both of you versus this challenge you're having. Do you understand? It makes you extend grace to each other when you're trying to resolve conflict. So it's like, we're on the same team. I'm not trying to win you in this argument. You're not trying to win me. We're trying to see how we can approach this amicably and take into consideration your perspective of this issue, my perspective of it, and see how we can find a common ground. Okay, although me, sometimes I forget because I'm a very competitive person, so sometimes I just want to win. I like to win. Sometimes I just want to win the argument, you get. And there are other times when I have to tell myself, Chidera, calm down, step back, it's okay, just agree, you know. So there are times like that. There are times too as well when Jason has to just agree, even though, you know, it's not what he wants to go on and argue. He just has to agree that yes, it's fine, it is what it is. Another thing I wish I was told before I got married is that you have to leverage your personality differences. You have to leverage it. And what's interesting here is that the things that you might actually have liked about that person before you got married might become the thing that actually irritates you the most about that person when you're living with them. Now, let me explain using myself as an example, of course. So before getting married, right? So I used to like that Jason could stay on the call with me in the mornings and we could talk for like 30 minutes, you know, just ease into the morning. And I loved it. I was like, oh my God, he's so caring. Now that we are married, it's not the same. Like, I'm now realizing that he's not a morning person, and that's why he could stay on the call in the mornings, you know, talking to me and just having that slow start. And so now that we're living together, it's like, oh, if I want us to do something early in the morning, I can't really bank on him per se. I can't like put all my eggs and be like, yes, I know Jason will be ready at so and so time. I've already told him that I've accepted that I'm going to be the one always dressed on time in the mornings. If it's for any morning activity, it's me that is going to be the person to do it, okay? Because I am a morning person. Do you understand? I wake up with energy. I wake up with zest. Like my peak hours are like from morning to like 12 in the afternoon. Anything I want to do, I try to do like my heart attacks in the morning and all of that. Jason is the exact opposite. Is towards the night, my guy the day energized. It's towards the night, he's having energy. If Jason wants to work out, he'll preferably do his workouts in the evening. I like to do my workouts in the morning. Do you understand? So just knowing these differences helps us plan activities and plan who does what. So for example, if I want to say, oh, I want us to start working out, and every morning we'll go to the gym around 7 a.m. It's not gonna work because he's gonna struggle with that, even though I won't struggle with it. And then also, for example, if Jason is like, oh, let's be doing our devotions in the night, it might not work for me because at night I'm tired, my brain have off. I cannot be reading. I can't, like, there's so many things I can't do at night, but he has the leverage. He has the capacity to do that. So just understanding these differences, this is just one example. There's so many other cases. Just understanding these differences enables us to live better with each other and just allocate who does what and who is in charge of what at so and so time. Do you understand? Another thing I wish I was told before I got married is that you're marrying into a family, okay? This goes both ways, both for the male and both for the female. You would think that, you know, it's just you and your husband, it's just you and your wife, but it's not. You have family that you have to relate with, you have to be cordial with. You have mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, uncle-in-law, brother-in-law, all of that. So I just feel like it's really important to think about that. So when you're looking at getting married to someone, it's not just about you and that person, and that's why you would have to make effort to have at least a cordial relationship with his family or with her family. It's really important. I don't know, I just feel like it helps. For example, you wouldn't want someone to be married to you and then the person doesn't talk to your family, the person doesn't really care about your family and stuff like that. It will just make you feel like they're not accepting you in totality, if that makes sense. So yeah, you're definitely marrying into a family and you would have to make efforts to get them or be on their page. Rather, you would have to make efforts to be on their page, and sometimes they tend to also influence the decisions that you guys make, but it's also important that you and your partner set boundaries for the extent of this influence. Influence is not always bad, but it's also important that you set boundaries, because in as much as you're marrying into a family, you're a separate family as well. Do you understand? You're a separate, a distinct unique family, if that makes sense. Another important thing I wish I was told before I got married, honestly, I was told. I'm not going to lie, I was told this one very, very well. It's very important for you to intentionally create time with one another. You might feel like, oh, you be living with this person 24/7, you're in the same space, most likely. Like, you spend time with this person, you live with this person, so you probably know everything that is going on with them. But that's not the case. You know, when they say over familiarity breeds contempt, it's actually very true in marriage. The more familiar with this person, the more you feel like, I know everything about the person. You don't. And that's why it's good to intentionally create that time out where you guys can just connect and talk. This could be date nights, this could be like just going out, having this quiet time together just to talk and just like look at each other face to face, or just do activities together. It helps to bring up things that maybe are disturbing your partner, then you get to hear about issues they are having that you're not even aware of. So it's really good that I create this time. Or using myself again as an example, we do bi-weekly date night, so bi-weekly, so twice a month. And to tell you how serious we are about it, we actually scheduled it into our calendars, so we both have it on our calendar. So even when we're planning things with other people, we know that, oh, we can't fix anything on this time because we're going to have date night. So, and also prioritize that time. Let it not be that anything that comes up, you're like, oh, what, babe, you know what, we're going to cancel date night today. It has to be priority. When I say date night, it doesn't mean you have to go to fancy dinner and all of that. You could just do anything. My point is just have that time. You could stay at home and eat and watch a movie, whatever it is. Just always create like time to spend together. Ideally, I would say it should be uninterrupted time. Like, it would be good if you're not watching TV. That's why I like dinner, because dinner we're eating and we're looking at each other. You'll look me, anya, and then, you know, things come up in the moment. So yeah. Another important thing I wish someone told me before I got married, no one told me this one, so this is true, my experience, I've learned this, is that the little things matter a lot. See, the little things matter a lot. You need to give your partner attention even in the little details. See what I mean? So for example, your partner comes up to you and be like, oh, look at this TikTok video, and you're like, you look at it, you're like, or you're like, oh, I'm doing something, I'll look at it later. Stuff like that. You see that, I'll look at it later. It's easy to continually do that, and before you know, you're pushing away your partner. So try to, like, I don't know how to, the English is not coming, but basically like giving attention to the little details. Maybe something as simple as rubbing their back, or something as simple as telling them thank you for taking out the trash, or thank you for praying, or thank you for going shopping. Like little things, little acts of appreciation, little acts of I see you. Do you understand? It goes a long way. So when your partner walks up to you with something exciting, you must not understand why they're excited. Just be excited with them. It helps to build this bond that you have. So yeah, I hope this point makes sense. Another important thing I wish I was told, okay, actually this one I was told, is that you will be apologizing and forgiving all the time. See, all the time. I think I have actually lost count of the number of times I've forgiven this man that I live with, and I'm sure he's also lost count of the number of times he's forgiven me. It's a daily thing. It's a daily thing. When Jesus was asked that, oh, how many times do I forgive my brother? And Jesus said, 70 times 7. You know, when we read some things in Bible, it does not make sense, because how can one person vex you 70 times 7 times? It's not possible. But my dear, when you're in marriage, okay, let me not exaggerate. When you're married, it's not like the person will know you 70 times as well. But my point is, you realize how real that scripture is, because every day you have to intentionally forgive. You have to overlook a lot of things. Like, you can't be getting angry every time. You cannot even walk, because you'll be frustrated. So something to just overlook, just forgive. I forgive you, Jesus, I forgive you, you know. So it's a constant thing of forgiving, and not just that, even apologizing. You have to learn to apologize. You have to learn to say I'm sorry. You have to learn your partner's apology language. Another book I'll recommend you check out, Gary Chapman, Apology Languages, because there are people that if you just say I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense to them. They want you to actually say I'm sorry for so and so and so, and I'm that kind of person. If you tell me I'm sorry, yeah, sorry for what? Like, I need you to know what you're sorry for. That's what helps me forgive. You get, that's my apology language. There are different types of apology languages, so I'll advise that you check the book if you've not read it before. Another important thing I wish I was told before I got married is that comparison would destroy your home. Comparison is gonna kill your home. You need to not compare your partner with other people out there, because the truth is there's always going to be someone better than your spouse. There's always going to be someone hotter than your spouse. There's always going to be someone more attractive than your spouse, you know, stuff like that. But you have to constantly tell yourself that you made this decision, you married this person, and you also have to focus on the attractive qualities that you found in this person. Like, you have to actually esteem your partner. Like, you have to hold them in high regards in all cases and in all instances, because comparison would do nothing but to destroy the bond that you share. So you don't want to be like, oh, why are you not doing this? Is like this person did this. Can't you see these people? See how they are doing their own thing? You don't want stuff like that. You don't want to compare. Of course, you can learn from other people, like from other marriages around you and all of that, pick up lessons here and there, but it's not for you to compare your journey and your marriage to theirs, because you don't want that. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about, the last thing I wish I was told before I got married, I was actually told because I was attending church and I read so many books to actually open my mind to submission. So the thing I want to talk about here is submission, okay? Submission does not make you weak. Submission is actually strength. Now, before getting married, I must say this, I struggled with the concept of submission, because to me it doesn't make sense. Like, why does the woman have to submit? I'm always like on that front of arguing that scripture. I'm like, why does the woman have to submit? Oh, she has to submit to the man, you know, stuff like that. Like, it just did not sit well with me, the whole thing of submission. And I knew for certain that getting married is like, I'm going to struggle with submission. I'm going to struggle with just staying down. Do you understand? Like, staying down. But what I can tell you from my experience so far is that submission comes easy when you are submitting to the right person. See what I mean? For me, submitting to Jason is not difficult. And that's because he's also able to submit to me, if that makes sense. Like, I know I can submit to this man. I can trust him completely because I know he's 100% committed to me and he's 100% looking out for me. It's easy to submit when you know the person you're submitting to has your best interest at heart. So that's why it's really important that even before you get married, you select the right person that you can be submitting to. Now, submission here, another thing I want to say that has helped my understanding is submission in the biblical context is actually a two-way street. You know how in the Bible it says, submit to your own husbands, right? And then one thing that they know used to say in church very well, let me tell you people, is that it says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Okay, so it is the woman is called to submit. The man is also called to submit with sacrificial loving. See, it says, and gave himself up for her. It means as a husband, without thinking, you should be able to die for your wife. That is it. And this is what they don't used to preach. You should be able to die. It's not for you to be shouting, this woman knows to submit. She knows to submit. Can you die for her? That's the question. Okay, so can you die for your wife? So the submission in the biblical context is actually a two-way street. Women, submit to your husbands, recognize their headship in the house, and then men, be willing to die for this woman if it comes up. That like 100% sacrificial loving. Jesus died for the church, and that is submission. It takes a lot for you to submit all the power you have, everything, and just die for the church. You understand? Because I mean, look at Jesus now. Look at Jesus, and he died. He submitted himself to God's will. So basically, submission in marriage is a two-way street. And when you understand that you're called to submission in the same way the man is called to submission, it makes it easy. One thing I understand about that scripture is that God created that scripture just so there's order. Because when there's no order, there's chaos. Do you understand? So it's just for order and nothing else. It doesn't mean I'm inferior to Jason just because I'm submitting. No, I know he's also submitted to me in the context of leading me and also being ready to give up himself for me. Do you understand? So yeah, let me stop rambling. This video is not about all of this. It's just small points I want to be touching here and there. Okay guys, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you found this video helpful. Once again, don't forget to leave a comment down below. So the next video I want to do in this series is questions to ask before you get married. So definitely let me know if this is something you want to see. Please leave the comment in the comment section below, because I'll check it and just know if I should shoot that video. So let me know if you would want that video, questions to ask before you get married. I hope this video has helped. If it did, also don't forget to share it to somebody. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Okay, till next time guys, thank you so much. Bye bye.